Switch case statements are similar to if statements that we studied previously. Basically, as long as you have a condition that is valid, then a chunk of code will be executed. Let's start with a simple example. We define an integer from 1 to 7, and based on the actual value, we display in the console the corresponding day of the week. As an example, number 1 will be Monday, 2 is Tuesday, and so on. I am defining this integer called day of week equal to 1. Let's see the syntax of the switch statement. We need to specify the switch keyword, and inside its parentheses, we need to define the variable that is being evaluated. So we are going to use the newly defined one, day of week. Next, we open the body of the switch case statement that will contain the conditions. So we need to open some curly brackets. Here we need to define the actual if statements, but not using actual ifs, but with cases. To avoid confusions, let me write the first case. Case 1, colon, system out println, Monday. What we are saying here is basically if the variable we specified as the switch argument is equal to 1, then print out the word Monday in the console. What we actually need to add after the system out statement is a break. This is to stop the evaluation of the other cases. Let's specify case 2 as well until 7. I will fast forward the video until that point. Now let's run the code. As you can see, Monday is outputted in the console, as we expected. You may wonder what happens if none of the cases are valid. Let's modify the variable to 8, for example, and run the code. Nothing happens as we don't have a case for 8. To treat such a case, we need to specify a default case. Let's do that at the bottom of the program. Default colon system out println, and let's use a message like an incorrect value has been used. Let's do a more complicated twist to our code. Let's make use of what we learned in the previous video about user input and define a new scanner object to capture user input. Feel free to pause for a second and think about how this can be done. Alright, we are going to capture an int from users in our variable by using nextInt method. Additionally, we add a meaningful message to inform the user that she or he may need to specify a number between 1 and 7. Now let's run it. So far so good. After inputting 5, we can see that Friday is outputted, which is the correct result. If we input 8, then the default code is executed. That's it for switch case statements. Next lecture is about object-oriented paradigm and why we consider Java to be an object-oriented programming language. So see you in the next lecture.